Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Coach Mark Stoops, the Kentucky Wildcats, have been doing a phenomenal job on the recruiting trail. The last couple of weeks, obviously, we've covered Kentucky extensively in terms of what they've done in the transfer portal, but I want to highlight the exceptional balance that Coach Stoops and this Kentucky program have done building their roster. In the modern day of college football, you want to use the transfer portal to be able to build your roster in a really effective way. We certainly saw Coach Stoops do that, but it shouldn't come at the expense of what you're doing at the high school ranks. And you look at what Coach Stoops did in that 2024 class and what he's building in the 2025 class. I mean, a masterclass job in my mind of building a roster. In the 2024 high school class, they brought in a top 25 class. You look at the transfer portal additions, a top 15 class, and then you take a sneak peek to what they're building in the 2025 cycle. Off to a phenomenal start. Quarterback Stone Sanders, a guy that as a Michigan fan, I wanted to be in Michigan, goes to Kentucky. And now they land one of the more electric wide receivers in the class of 2025, Quintin Simmons Jr. from the state of Ohio. Mark Stoops continues to do a phenomenal job in that state. Now you have a very talented wide receiver and a very talented quarterback locked into this 2025 cycle. Coach Stoops off to a phenomenal start. Want to get in to Quintin Simmons Jr.'s game. Talk a little bit about what he brings to this Kentucky program. And again, as a Michigan fan, this was one that was high up on Michigan's boards and a phenomenal get for the Kentucky Wildcats. Before we get into it, just want to say thank you to you guys. And it truly has been a blast talking Kentucky done in the portal, what they've done on the high school recruiting trail. There's nothing more that I love talking about with regards to college football than roster construction, talking about these young high school kids moving up to the next level. Cannot thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have shown the boys. If y'all do enjoy the content, enjoy the updates, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll keep you guys as updated as possible with what the Kentucky Wildcats are doing on the recruiting trail. And without further ado, let's get into Quintin Simmons Jr. And I want to start with just a one word, or give me a phrase to describe Quintin Simmons Jr. That is lightning in a bottle. And this is a guy that is absolutely electric when he gets the football in his hands. You take a look at the background of Quintin Simmons Jr., runs a 10.76 in the 100-meter dash. That is absolutely burners for this Kentucky Wildcats wide receiver room. And a guy that what I think makes him even more special than just being a straight line guy is he is extremely smooth. I mean, he changes directions, makes people miss in space at such a high level. When you couple the ability to change directions, throttle up and throttle down, while also being able to have straight burners in a straight line, that's when you get these special caliber players. And a guy like Quintin Simmons Jr., I think, is going to be a massive addition to this Kentucky Wildcats wide receiver room. Now, we're going to turn on the film, talk a little bit about what he does, but you're going to see him just touch the ball in a variety of different ways. Elite special teams guy in the kick return game. He's a guy that you see this high school program really just make a concerted effort to let Quintin Simmons Jr. touch the ball in any way possible. You'll see him line up as a running back. You'll see him line up as a wide receiver, but make no mistake about it, wherever he is on the football field, they're trying to get the football in his hands, and quite frankly, rightfully so. Turning on the film, one of the more exciting film studies to watch, because you just see the exceptional long speed that Quintin Simmons Jr. has, makes most of these other defenders trying to tackle him just kind of move in slow motion, right? You see how fast when he gets that open turf, like not a lot of people are catching him, and you see him kind of finish off those big plays. And when you have that kind of speed, that makes you special. But this is the play that when I was kind of buzzing through the film a couple of weeks ago, because I knew Michigan was going after him, this is kind of what stuck out to me as most impressive. You're going to see him get this ball on a little quick screen, make people miss with ease, change direction, phenomenal contact balance, comes out the back end. And again, when it is time to turn on the jets, he gets going 0 to 60, and he gets going to 0 to 60 really fast. Again, trying to get him the football by any means necessarily. You see it again here, throwing a little screen, just kind of wins out on the edge. And it's kind of an example of when you take a bad angle, if you're a linebacker, safety, cornerback, trying to tackle a guy like Quintin Simmons Jr., you're going to pay for it because he has that elite speed. Once again, the elite speed kind of on display here. And this one's a fun one because the kicker has a one-on-one situation here. One, you just see him, again, bad angles. You're not going to catch this guy. this kicker stands no chance, right? You take a look at this, runs right by the kicker. You really get a feel for, how long speed, how fast Quintin Simmons Jr. really is when it comes to getting downhill and kind of turning on those jets. And again, seeing him lined up all over the field, taking a carry here, you see the ability to kind of read what's going on in front of him, have that innate feel for being a ball carrier. Again, running back, wide receiver, kick returner. You see how comfortable he is with the football in his hands. Again, another screen. Now, the one question you might have as we pause this tape a little bit, just smooth, long speeds there. The one question you might have of a guy, Quintin Simmons Jr., is, what does the route running look like? Because you see a lot of his production come from the screens, from the kick returns, out of the backfield. What does it look like when he's a wide receiver creating separation? Now, the question that is there, I think you have the answer because you see the movement skills, right? You see his ability to get in and out of his breaks when he has the football in his hands. There's not really much evidence to say he can't do that as a route runner trying to create separation as well. So you take a look at how he projects to the next level. At one point, it's just this is a guy that is going to be an elite weapon in this Kentucky offense. And when you get the football into his hands, like, good things are going to happen. And I think a ton of developmental upside in terms of what he can do as a route runner at the next level. Massive fan of what Coach Stoops and this Kentucky program are doing both in the high school ranks and in the transfer portal. And again, that blend, that is how you continue to close the gap in the SEC. I think Coach Stoops doing a phenomenal job with it. We'll continue to keep you guys updated with this Kentucky program, what they're doing on the recruiting trail. Cannot thank you guys enough for rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Going to be a busy next couple of weeks and months for the Wildcats on the recruiting trail. Appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.